Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, GWT family around the world, Millionaires in Motion team. Welcome to our Monday night team call. This is Regional Ambassador Sean Hayes, and thank you all for joining us on our call tonight. Well, we're going to get straight in it tonight because we have a very special guest, and I want to give as much time for us to hear from him and learn from him. And this gentleman is an extraordinary individual. I mean, a self-made, documented billionaire, a gentleman who's built organizations in the millions in the industries of direct sales and network marketing, a gentleman who's mentored 50 people to become millionaires in this industry. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And I know he's traveled the world with the likes of Jim Rohn and many top people he's shared the stage with and done events with. He's written very successful books, The 8th Grade Millionaire, The Millionaire Mentor, and he has now decided on what will be his final home to create 100 millionaires, and we'll talk to him more about that tonight. But it's my absolute pleasure and honor to have with us tonight Mr. Edward Mercer. Are you there, Mr. Mercer?
I am, sir. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us on the call, and glad you could be here with us tonight. And I'm going to ask you some questions, and just feel free to share with us anything that you want to out of the questions I asked, and any additional info you want to add as well will be fantastic.
Okay, fantastic. Okay.
So, the very first question I had for you tonight was, really what I call, I guess, the warrior mindset, the champion mindset. I know you've shared about going from being homeless at the age of 15 to being a millionaire at 27. And, so many people allow obstacles, challenges to stop them. And I can only imagine what type of tremendous mindset it must have taken, for you to overcome those types of odds and challenges. So if you could really share about that and anything you could impart on anybody, going through challenges, that they can truly overcome it to achieve what they want.
Yeah, to this evening is not about me, and I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me, because of the fact that all those things did happen to me. It made me become a much stronger individual. I did live in, my mama gave birth to me when she was 15 years old, and basically couldn't take care of me. And I lived with my grandparents, and they passed away. Prior to that, I lived in a house, a condemned house with no running water, no electricity, no plumbing, no floors. Four of my younger brothers, basically, over a period of time, two of them died of an overdose of drugs. One was shot to death, and the other one died at 12 years old. And for me, being a street person, it made me a stronger person. I learned a lot from being on the streets. So I don't, for me it was okay. If that's, I never went to school. I never had any education. But one day I was watching television, and I seen three people from the disability hospital, and they actually won the Florida State Lottery, and they won $27 million. And they said to the first person that she was in a serious car accident, and her face was disfigured, and they asked her what she was going to do, because each person got $9 million. And said, "What are you going to do with your $9 million?" She said, "If I could only see my husband and my two children, I'd be happy to give up my $9 million." And the second person was in a wheelchair with totally no bodily functions whatsoever. And they asked him what he was going to do with his $9 million. And he said if he could only get out of the wheelchair for one day and to find out what it'd be like to be a human being, he'd give up his $9 million. And the other person was deaf and dumb. And through sign language, he said, if I could only speak and hear, I'd give up my $9 million. I figured at that time I was worth $27 million. I could speak, I could hear, I could walk, I could talk, I could do all those things. God gave me all those gifts, And I decided at that time that no matter what I touched, whether it be a person or an opportunity, I was going to make that person or opportunity better than when I found it.
Well, that is amazing, and so I guess that really made you decide that nothing would stop you from achieving the things you wanted to.
Well, the thing is that we talk about diseases sometimes. We talk about heart disease. We talk about cancer. We talk about all kinds of AIDS and all kinds of other diseases. I don't believe those are the killing diseases. I believe it's called hardening of the attitudes. It's called stinking thinking. So sometimes we just need to check up from the neck up. I think in order to have more, we must become more. I think in order for things to change, we must change. I always tell people, never be bitter, always be better. Never be a worrier, always be a warrior. And a lot of people, they have a tendency to major over minor things. They play the blame card. They blame it on their parents. They blame it on their education. They blame it on everything but themselves. And if you're going to be successful, it's sort of like the pendulum on the clock. One side of the pendulum is negative, the other side is positive, the other side is success, the other side is failure. You have to be on the right side of the pendulum.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for that. So, next question I'd like to ask you is, when you first saw this industry, what was it that really attracted to you? What was it that stood out about this industry? And, being a brand new person at the time, what did you do in your first year? I know you kind of decided from the beginning you were going to go to the top of your company at the time. And so what was it you really did in your first year that set you on that path to the incredible success you had?
It's an interesting story. I knew nothing about multi-level marketing. I knew nothing about the industry whatsoever. And I went to a meeting if you're from Toronto or know anything about Toronto, the Constellation Hotel in Toronto. And I watched the meeting, and I didn't know there was anything like that available, especially with someone with no education and no sales experience and no marketing experience. And after the meeting, I walked on the stage, and it was a company called Herbalife. And I walked on the stage with Mark Hughes, the president of the company, and Harry Thompson, the vice president, and Dr. Katz, and all the top people. I went on the stage and said, I'm going to be #1 in the world of Herbalife. And they sort of laughed at me a little bit. They looked at me and they said, well, we have 360,000 people in the company. How long have you been with the company? I said, I'm just starting tonight. They sort of laughed at me and said, okay, well, good luck, and we'll, hopefully you'll make it. And they told me that I had to speak to 5 people per week about the opportunity. I looked at the opportunity, and I decided that I was not going to talk to 5 people a week. I was going to talk to 20 people per day. I treated it like it was a job. I see people in the morning getting up at 6 o'clock, driving an hour and a half to work, and driving an hour and a half home, and all those things. And I talk to people that are unhappy with their income, they're unhappy with their job, they're unhappy with all their relationships. And I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to 20 people per day, every single day, and I called it Celebrate or Fix. So at the end, every day, I would, if it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, I never stopped until I talked to 20 people per day. And so, if you look at it, 5 days a week, it's 100 people a week, it's 400 people a month, right? So, again, you're going to get a lot of no's, but out of the odds are, out of that many people, you're going to get people that are interested. And on the first big paycheck I had, I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm going to share with you. My first big paycheck was $102,000 U.S. Because again, I had all the people that I sponsored into the business. I said we're going to have a meeting on Saturday, and the only way you can come to the meeting it's $5. $5 was a lot of money back then too, by the way. If you come to the meeting and it's $5, if you bring 2 guests, it's free. So everybody brought 2 guests. And we also had a program where if you brought more than 5 guests, we give them some money. I'll talk, $10, $20. And so the business within 90 days just grew like crazy, crazy. And we had over 700 people into the business in 90 days. And again, when people wanted to join the business with me, they said, well, we can get involved with Herbalife for $49. And I said, okay, what you need to do is you need to sign up under that person for $49. But if you want to be on my team, it's $2,500. That was the top level. People says, I don't have the money. And I said, well, that should be the reason why you should join. People will go out and they'll spend all this money on businesses and franchises and 3 or 4 years of training. So I told people, I said, if you want to be on my team, you need to go borrow the money. You need to find the money somewhere. And so in this industry, if you bring somebody in at the low number, for example, with our company here, if you bring somebody in at $169, they'll bring every single person in at $169. The speed of the leader is always the speed of the pack. If you tell people it's a $3,500 investment, you're going to get $9,500 worth of product, you're going to get this and this and this, basically they will find the money. So the key is that I tell people if you want to really be successful at this, or you want to be part-time, full-time, or no time, that's up to you. You can make that decision. But I just know that if I bring people in at the top level, they have an opportunity to bring other people in. And once people start making money in the business, they'll never quit. In the industry, just so everybody knows, the amount of people that the retention is only about 12%. And so only 12% of the people that you bring in will actually stay in the business for long periods of time. So therefore, you have to recruit all the time. The retention in this industry and in this company is about 70%. Never seen that in 30 years of being in the industry on a full-time basis. So the key is that this is really, really exciting.
Wow, that is incredible. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm going to go to a different question because of what you shared. But, just I guess really what I'm hearing from you is mindset, because mindset for you to say to someone, if you want to work with me, you got to come in at this level. I guess, when you set that mindset, it takes your team or your business on a different level is what I'm hearing you saying.
Well, I always say the speed of the leader is always the speed of the pack. I never expect anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do. And I don't know, and when I say this, I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but I don't know if you've ever seen a dog race. But if you've ever seen a dog race like the Huskies in Alaska, with the lead dog, the scenery always changes, right? The other dogs, what they see, right? The bottom line is with the lead dog, the scenery always changes. I always tell people, wherever you are, be there, right? And like I say, for me, when I get involved in the business, I always want the lead person. I don't expect anybody to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. So you need to be a leader. I always say if you want to be a leader, also you must be a reader. I think that the more we know about the industry, I've talked to people that's been in this industry for 2 or 3 years. I ask them about the marketing plan or the compensation plan. They say, oh, I don't know, you have to ask my upline. Well, the thing is, if you want to be into this business, be into the business. Make sure it's not a hobby, it's a business. You need to know everything about your business, and you need to become a product of the product. You need to, it's not what you say, it's how you feel about what you say, right? And so, like I say, your attitude has to do with your altitude. So the thing is that everything that you do is got to be your attitude. That there's no letter I in the word team, and you've got to be that team.
Amazing. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Mercer. Now, you talked about, obviously, when you started, you were talking to 20 people a day, and, as you said, you'll get a lot of no's when you're doing that. How do you handle it, or especially back then as you started, how did you handle it when people said no to you, and, how do you do infinite follow-up with people who, would have said no to you or maybe said not right now?
Well, that's a big question. For me, like some of the things I say may not be in agreement with everybody that's listening today. I know that a no doesn't mean no. It just means maybe down the road a little bit. But the thing is, if someone says to me, "Oh, is this one of those multi-level marketing things, or is this one of those pyramid things?" I right away I said, I'm sorry, you don't qualify. See, I don't chase people. I want people that has the right attitude. When you get into my car, even today, someone says, how far to London, Ontario? I say 3 tapes. How far to Windsor? 5 tapes, 6 tapes. So for me, the road to success is always under construction. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have detours. You're going to have speed bumps. You're going to have all kinds of different problems, getting to the top. The problem is that the road to success is sort of like an elevator. Sometimes you need to stop at several floors and let a lot of people off, right? So you're totally 100% a product of your environment. If you put a tuxedo on a chimpanzee, you still have a chimpanzee. So what happens if you bring in somebody that's negative, and they're going to bring other people in just like them, okay? And so and some of the things, like I said, don't get offended, folks. But if you motivate an idiot, you're going to have a motivated idiot. And what happens is that they bring other people like themselves into the business. And so for me, I don't have time for negative people. So the key is that the people that were the brokest people, they had all the answers. The broker they were, the more answers that they had. And like I say, for me, I ask people, are you teachable, right? Are you teachable? It's something, are you willing to make an effort to move forward? And, a lot of people said yes, and then, they show up at 1 or 2 meetings. My friend, he owns Good Life Fitness, and, 1 of every 7 people in Ontario have been into a Good Life Fitness sooner or later. And he told me, the owner told me, Pat, he said to me, he says, listen, he says, between Christmas and New Year's, people making New Year's resolutions, he says, of all the locations he has, people have to double park on side streets. He says, in the following month, he says, you can park next to the disabled. The road to hell was paved with great intentions. So people make all of these promises and everything, but the key is that when you're building a team, no letter I in the word team, you need to. There's some people that's going to make it in this business. There's some people that are not going to make it. If you give some people a gold bar, they'll go get a bronze, right? They'll find some way, or they'll listen or talk to one of their broke friends. And and again, when I say this, I only say this because I care about everybody on this call. The thing is, it may be your spouse, it may be your parents, it may be a family member that they've never had any dreams of their own, so they want to spoil yours. I don't let anybody ever steal my dreams, and if I did, I would probably be where my brothers were. The key is that I had to physically divorce myself away from all the negative people around me, and I actually moved away 200 miles away from my family, so I could rebuild my image, rebuild my business. And so the key is that, again, we've heard the saying before, we're a product of our environment. We are who we associate with. And so the key is always be around the right people. I want to be around people that I want to be like, right? So I always tell people, dress for success. You can't overdress when it comes to success, and people start noticing you.
Amazing. I love your blunt, to the point answers, and it's interesting because our GWT mom, our CEO's mom, she always says, don't ever let anyone steal your dreams. So thank you for that great answer. Now, one of our top leaders today, Ed, he's in England right now, invited to speak before the Queen of England, and I know for me, I've gotten to be in boardrooms with CEOs and mansions of heads of states, and amazing things have happened through this business. And I know for you, the things you've experienced have just been out of this world. So if you could share with us, some of the incredible doors and experience that this industry has opened for you, and why do you think it is that this industry allows really, an average individual to now get access to experience just these incredible things and people and places?
The thing is, like you say, I want to go real quick with this answer. I was the Canadian kickboxing champion at 24 years old, so I've had some experience in life itself. I went to Costa Rica 30 years ago, and when I went there, there was people from many countries coming into the country and stealing the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful scarlet macaw parrots. And not only were they killing them, they were actually selling the feathers on Rodeo Drive for expensive hats, purses, and dresses. And a lot of people with extreme wealth feel that they could purchase anything money will buy, so they thought their children could have a pet monkey. But the only way you could have a pet monkey is to physically kill the mother. And they were stealing the turtle eggs by the thousands and selling them in Asia for aphrodisiacs. I was in a financial position to invest $3 million of my own money. I hired 18 armed guards. I planted over 5,000 trees to bring the proper vegetation to the animals in the area. I'm the only non-Costa Rican in history that got inducted into the Environmental Hall of Fame. So for me, my last book, for example, was called The 8th Grade Millionaire. The reason before that is because it's called, the only thing that kept me from university was high school. I never did go to school, but I was a millionaire at the age of 27. And I was able to build homes for over 200 homeless people. With this new book that I have now, basically I'm donating $1 million to cancer research. And I'm working with an individual right now in Kenya that we're going to be putting water and wells and everything in the villages there. So the idea of this business here is it gives you an opportunity, regardless of where you are now. If you've ever had a setback, now is your time for a comeback.
Wonderful. So you're basically saying, this business and this industry, really, anyone, wherever they are in the world, can really get doors opened up to them that probably are not possible anywhere else.
Well, with this industry, again, it gives people the opportunity. I'm a good example of that. I'm a street person. I have zero education. Everything is about mindset. Sometimes, like I say, we have something called hugging of the attitudes. It's called stinking thinking. And again, it goes right back to in school. We're taught all these things that we take all these courses, and they don't benefit us. And if you turn the average person around from university, turn them around 3 times in the phone booth, they can't find their way out. Right? They don't have any practical experience in doing business, and so they get taught to work from 9 to 5. And hopefully, after 30 years, they're going to get the gold watch, and they're going to have 2.5 children with a dog and a white picket fence. Those things are not real. Okay. At one time, maybe back in the days of the Little House on the Prairie and the Waltons, maybe that was actual truth. It isn't anymore. And for action is a reaction. We have to take action. We control where we're going to be on a daily basis. And we can't blame the government. We can't blame our parents. We can't blame anybody. If you want to blame somebody, take a good look in the mirror, because that's the person to blame. In this industry, the nice part of it is that everybody joins can get involved at the same amount of money. If the compensation plan is not good for one person and not for another, everyone has an equal opportunity, regardless of your age, regardless of your education. Regardless of anything else. So we have that opportunity to move forward. Only you and I can make that decision for ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Now, I know that you talked earlier, the speed of the leaders, the speed of the pack, and taking massive action. So when somebody joins your team, Ed, or joins a business, what really is it you say to them or you would say to them and teach them in their first 7 days? That's the most key things to do in getting started for success.
The first 7 days, basically what I'd like people to do, if they would tonight, is just take a piece of paper and write down the word family. Just write down the word family. And the word family to me means forget about me, I love you. Forget about me, I love you. I tell people to take that, and I don't care how many books they've read or how many videos they've listened to or how many courses they've attended. The key is that when I got involved in the business, the first thing I did is I wanted to talk to people that I loved and respected the most in my life. And those are but that ends very quickly. So, you only have so many friends, you already have so family. And so I've asked people if they are married, and most people say, yeah, I'm married. I say, how many people were at your wedding? And they said, well, we had 300, 400, 500, 50, whatever the number is. And I said, did you put an ad in the paper to get those people excited about coming to your wedding? They said, no, there were friends, they were family, there were people that I loved and respected. I said, oh, so here it was in the house of God, on the most important day of your life, of your wedding, and you had 300 or 400 people. They were there for you. Now it's your turn to be there for them. And so when people say, I don't know anybody, well, obviously they know 300 or 400 people. Someone said, I asked people, do you have an iPhone? Do you have a cell phone? People say, yeah, I have an iPhone. I have a cell phone. How many people in your iPhone? People say, 100, 200, 300. I said, did the phone fairy put those in there? They said, no, of course not. I said, so you know those 200 people? They said, yes. I said, well, there's 200 people you know right there. So no one can use the excuse that they don't know anyone, right? I always thought, where do you get your haircut? Where do you get your gasoline? Where do you do your grocery shopping, right? Do you sit in the house all day and watch TV? So what do you do? Again, the key is that we all know enough people to be successful in this business, but we have sometimes we're fearful that our attitude has to do with our altitude. We're afraid of people saying no, and so the key is that we have I call it the chicken list. you're afraid to talk to people because you think they're going to say no. The thing is, you never have to worry about them saying no, because of the fact that, like I said earlier, is like no doesn't mean right now. It could be down the road, a year from now, 6 months from now, but they're going to want to see what you do. Like if they see you a year from now and you're still driving the same car and living in the same house and still have the same place that you were, they're not going to join your business. But if all of a sudden they see you, your haircut is differently, your clothes are different, especially in this business. I mean, this is unbelievable because, I mean, we're in the fashion industry. So all of a sudden people start wearing nice shoes and nice clothes and, doing their hair differently and everything. People are going to join your business because they see the difference in you. They're going to see a normal person turning into an extraordinary person. See, rich people are not extraordinary. Rich people are not extraordinary. They just do extraordinary things, right? So they step up to the plate. So every single day, I mean, I wear, because of this company, I'm wearing the alligator shoes. I'm wearing the fancy cufflinks, the fancy watches, and all those things. People every single day ask me, my God, where do you get all this stuff? So I bought it from my own store. I said, you have a store? I said, yeah, where is it? I said, I have an online store, right? And I said, I could get you an online store too. Are you interested? So this one is so much easier than anything I've ever done. We don't have expiry dates. We don't have any of those things. As a matter of fact, our product, the longer you keep it, the more it's worth. But in any other company or any other business, basically with lotions and potions, all you have is expiry dates, and a lot of people, they call me, want me to join their business. I said, how many countries are you in? Oh, we're in 18 countries or 20 countries. They're all excited, right? I said, well, we're in 150, right? And so, to me, it's a global business. I just get really excited about this business. And I got to tell you, I'm like a kid at a party right now. I've been in this business for 30 years. And I've never been more excited about any company than I have with the one I'm with right now. So I'm really excited. I'm really honored to be on the call today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I can hear the excitement in your voice, and I know it's making me excited, and I know all our listeners on the line are excited also. Now, going along that same vein of the first 7 days, I know you've told me also, how important it is in the first 90 days to create your story. I know you said that you use other people's story, and then in 90 days you should have your own story. And what I want to ask you is, what's the type of actions, what's the type of things people should be doing in that 90 days to really create their story? And, is this something anyone can do, whether they started right now or they started 10 years ago? Can anyone in the next 90 days, take that type of action to create their own story?
Well, your first 90 days, like you had mentioned, you always use somebody else's story until you have created one of your own. In your first 90 days, basically what you need to do is that you need to make that list up of all the people that you know. And the incredible part of it is a short pencil. And what a lot of people do is say, well, I know this, I know this, I know this. No, if someone tells you, oh, I don't have to write things down, I have to write. The thing is, a short pencil is always better than a long memory. If you start writing names down, I can tell you one name will bring you to another name. That name will bring you to another name. And people that say they only know 20 or 30 people, all of a sudden they'll have 100 people on their list. In this business, just so everybody knows, you only have two areas of business. You have the one side and the left side and the right side. You only have to know 2 really good people. If you start off your business, it's like building a $500,000 building. You have to build it a day at a time or brick at a time. Everything is about your foundation. If you have a strong foundation, your building will be solid. If you have a weak foundation, of course, it won't be solid. So the key is in this industry is that if you were going to start your business today, who would you want as the CEO of your company? Who would you want to be the vice president next to you? Who would you want people to follow you? What type of people would you want to build your business? So the key is not in the beginning. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of person you bring in. If you bring in 2 or 3 really, really good people with the right attitude, they will, I always say, don't build the business, build people. People will build the business on their own, right? So the key is that you need to get 2 really good people in the beginning. And those people with the right mindset will bring key people. It is really, really, really important to bring in the right people. If you have somebody that, that's negative or whatever, they're going to bring in the same type of people. And sometimes we feel sorry for them. The thing is, if they took all the money, like I say, some of the things I say, I don't want anybody to get upset. If they took all the money in the world and divided it equally, within 6 months, they'd be back in the same pockets. He who has gets, right? So the key is that someone is making $100,000 a month, like Ramin, he makes $100,000 a month. I don't believe that he's 100 times smarter than anybody on this call tonight, right? And as a matter of fact, I think everybody on this call has the same talent and the same ability that he has. But the thing is, here he is, 9 years later. I had 2 meetings with him today. He's on 3-way calls with me. The key is that he's doing a meeting right now as we speak. And again, it's all about commitment. It's like you've heard me say it before. It's sort of like bacon and eggs. The chicken was there, but the pig made a commitment. You need to make a commitment that this is what you're going to do, and your first 90 days is so important that you do a plan. It's like building a house. If someone says, I want you to build me a house, I say, what kind of house do you want? Right? You have to have a blueprint. You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, and you have to write that plan down and decide where you're going to go. I ask people, how do you eat a whale? Well, there's only one way to eat a whale, one bite at a time, right? So what you have to do, you have to decide, okay, there's 90 days, and the first 90 days, what do you want to, what type of income do you have to get to that point where it's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month? So what you do is you divide that 5,000 into the 90 days, and you decide what you need to do within that 90 days to accumulate what you want to accumulate. And just so people know on the call, $300 a month could make a difference whether someone keeps or loses their car. $500 a month could make a difference whether you keep or lose your house due to foreclosure. So the key is not everybody on the call is interested in making $20,000 or $30,000 a month. Maybe people on the call tonight were saying, hey, if I could make another $500 or $600 or $1,000 a month, it would make an incredible difference. But I can tell you, just that little bit of money that you make will change your attitude so much that people around you will want to know exactly what you're doing. So, you don't have to hit a home run the first time. There's people that are in this business that haven't done anything for 3 or 4 or 5 months, and because of the fact that they keep moving forward, the next person that you bring into the business could change your entire life. So that's what happens. People sometimes they quit before they should, and the only way you can lose in this industry is quit. And unfortunately, people quit on relationships, on friendships, on marriages. My accountant said one day, he said, "What if it doesn't work?" I said, "What if it does?" I said, "That's why you make $40,000 a year and I make $40,000 a month."
Absolutely. Many people stop 3 feet from gold, so that's tremendous. And really, as you said, anybody can find the right person tomorrow. So, even if they started months ago, years ago, they can take action these next 90 days and, make things happen, make that change.
But the thing is, you don't know who they know. Sometimes we prejudge. We don't know who they know. And when I say this, I don't want to say it now. What if you sponsored me? What if you personally sponsored me? And I've only been in the business for a few weeks now. I brought in 12 personal people, and I've got a lot of people in my group. What if you sponsored me and one other person? Okay, your whole world would change financially for the rest of your life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, going on the same thought, because you were talking about Renee at the calls today and the tours today right now, and I noticed with yourself that right from day one, which I found amazing because I know you've been in this industry for so long and traveled the world with legends and so on, and yet from day one, I've seen you at every tour, every training, whether it's weekly, whether it's monthly, and obviously you're coming to the annual convention. So why is it so important, that you are at all of these events, and why is it important that everyone should be at every event, whether it's the local, weekly, monthly, or annual conventions?
Well, like I said, I'm here every Monday. I'm here every Wednesday. And when I'm not here, I'm doing 3-way calls. The key is that, I always say, whenever you are, be there, right? A lot of people, they just go through the motions. And for me, there's no letter I in the word team. And getting back to what I said earlier, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. If you don't come to the Monday night meetings, or you don't come to the Wednesday night meetings, or you don't go on the Monday night calls that we're doing now, then why would you expect your people to do that? So again, if you only bring in 1 or 2 people in your business, and you tell them to bring in 1 or 2 people on the call, all of a sudden now you got 4 people on the call, and those 4 people will bring in 4 people. It's just a matter of arithmetic. It's just a matter of numbers, right? But like I say, there's a lot of people tonight that should have been on the call, and should have, would have, could have, right? And I had a guy tonight. He said to me, "Oh, I couldn't make it to the meeting tonight." He said something come out. One of my buddies dropped by. We're going to go out and watch the ball game. Well, that's okay. The whole thing is that people have excuses why they fail, right? people don't fail to plan, they plan to fail. I have people, friends of mine, say, I'm going to Vegas. As soon as I lose $1,000, I'm quitting. Well, they already knew they're going to lose $1,000, and that's their attitude. Or I get people to say, my mom, God bless her soul, she says, she used to play bingo. She said, as soon as I lose $20, I'm coming home. Well, she already knew she was going to lose the $20. That was her attitude. People that get married with prenups, they say, oh, my God, that's okay. So if it doesn't work out with my relationship with my wife or my husband, that's okay. We can just walk away, right? So for me, like I say, that's about my accountant. He said, what if it doesn't work? I said, what if it does, right? So again, it goes right back to the same thing. It goes right back to the attitude. Your attitude has to do with your altitude. And too many people have stinking thinking, so they need to check up from the neck up.
Amazing. As I'm listening to you and hearing so many things that you're saying that I've heard our CEO say so many times, and it's fantastic to hear it from you. And it's interesting. We had an event on the weekend, and he was saying, somebody who'd seen this business literally 10 years ago, and they kept looking, and it never launched. And now they said to our CEO, well, I guess the billion has passed me by, So I guess some people just keep watching while others take action and make it happen.
Well, the thing, and again, the difference between rich people and poor people. Poor people, basically, I talk to people, I say, how you doing? Oh, not bad for Monday. Then all of a sudden, oh, it's Hump Wednesday. And oh, thank God it's Friday. See, most people that are broke basically plan for the weekend, right? That's the whole thing. I think that's why they call it weekend, because it is week, right? And the bottom line is that rich people plan for the future, poor people plan for the weekend. The difference between a leader and someone that's in the business, rich people want to know how big is your library, poor people want to know how big is your flat screen TV. So again, those are just things that I traveled with Jim Rohn for 8 years. I worked with Deepak Chopra. I worked with Les Brown. I've been on stage with 140 speakers, and I'm in the Speakers Hall of Fame. The whole thing is that I learned for 30 years. Basically, I didn't want to know why people made money in multi-level marketing. Okay, I didn't study that. I knew how people made money. I wanted to find out why people don't succeed in multi-level marketing. So all the things I'm sharing with you on this call tonight is not to be negative. It's to be the reason people are not successful, or maybe people on the call tonight are not doing what they're capable of doing, is because they're worried about other things other than going out there and just doing the right thing. This is not a hobby. It is a business. You have to treat it like a business. A lot of people will go work at a company or a factory or an office for $10 or $20 an hour. And they'll drive an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half home, but yet they won't commit to 10 or 20 hours a week to this industry. You need to do that to be successful. You can't sit at home and watch TV and think it's going to work. So the thing is, it's called network marketing. The reason it's called network marketing is there. So if you fall down, although you're in business for yourself, you're not by yourself. That's why it's called network marketing. But unfortunately, there is a 4-letter word there. It's called work, right? So the key is that you do have to work the business. And if you work the business will work. If you don't, like the guy the other day, he says to me, he's so upset. What's the matter with you? He says, I had to wait 2 hours for my welfare check. I says, I had to work 80 hours this week to get paid on Friday. So he was complaining because he had to wait 2 hours for his welfare check. Well, the whole thing is that, another person today I interviewed, he says, how much does it cost to get into the business? And I told him, he says, well, I don't have any money. And I said, well, that should be the excuse right there why you should get involved, right? If a person has a lot of money and they're comfortable, maybe they don't need this business, okay? But if you're broke and you're at a certain age and you have a family and you have a spouse and you have children and you have a mortgage on it, you owe it to your family. You owe it to yourself to become successful, right? And I can tell you one thing: if you're working for somebody else, all you're doing is putting your birds in somebody else's cage. You're building their business. You're not building yours. You can't stand in the garage and make a car. I can tell you that right now. Right? You need to either get on the ball or get on the bus, right? The thing is, I tell people, get on the train or get off the track, because the whole thing is that you need to move forward, take this business serious, because it is serious.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. And going off of that same line, and how do you handle unmotivated distributors? What can you do to get someone who's not taking action to take action?
Well, again, some people may not be happy with what I say. I do not try to. It's easier to give birth than it is to resurrect from the dead. The difference between the rut and the grave is only the dimensions. I can't push a rope. I can't do any of those things. So if someone is not motivated and they don't return my calls, or they're not doing what they can do, I don't spend any time with them. It's like I don't know if anybody's ever played chess or not, but if someone makes a move, I make a move. They make two moves, I make two. They make three, I make three. They make none, I make none. Okay? Again, I can't resurrect from the dead. I can't push a rope. And so, if I could say, it's always easier to give birth than it is to resurrect from the dead. So I do not concentrate on the people that are not doing anything in the business, because of the fact they've probably done nothing in other businesses too. But they'll come up, they'll complain about something. They'll complain about it's their spouse, it's this and this and this and this. I don't have time. I don't have time for that. So I don't spend time on negative things. I don't major over minor things.
Amazing. Our CEO always says that lifeblood is the new blood, and so I think that's exactly the point you made there. You should always be bringing new people, and you can't. It seems the best way to motivate inactive people is actually by bringing new people.
Exactly. I see people come to meetings all the time, and even here, and again, I don't say this disrespectfully. Even tonight, I've seen people sitting there while the people are talking in front of the room. They're sitting there, they're texting, they're doing all kinds of things. They're texting, they're doing other things. When the speaker is up front, so a person that makes $100,000 a month, they're sitting there texting, or their phone rings and they go outside to answer their phone. I mean, my God, right? I mean, if someone told me I was going to meet someone that's a millionaire, and they're going to train you tonight for free, and they're going to share all the experiences that they have, and you're sitting there texting, like I say, I don't understand it. I always say, like I said before, wherever you are, be there. If you're not there multitasking, doing other things, when the person speaking up front is making $1 million a year and you're texting, I just don't get it. And I don't apologize for that. I don't apologize to anybody for what I just said. The key is if you're going to be serious, I try to separate the serious from the curious. If you're not serious about your future, if you're not serious about changing your financial situation, if you're not happy with the car that you drive or the house you live in or the balance of your bank account, it's only you that could make that difference. We have the best compensation plan in the industry. We have the best products. We have the best leadership. We have everything that a company should have. And I can tell you, I'm so proud to be part of this company. I'm so proud to be part of what I'm doing and what I'm saying tonight. And this is my last home, by the way. It's never. I get about 5 companies per week, every single week, trying to bring me into their company, telling me how much they're going to give me, how much they're going to share with me, how much money they're going to do, this. But this company gave me nothing, okay? This company did not give me $1. This company did not. I based my business based upon the credibility and the longevity of the company and the longevity of the products. So I based my decision based on on knowing about the company, knowing about the ownership of the company, knowing about the longevity of the company and where they're going. When I talked to the owners of the company, they said our goal was to make 1,000 people millionaires in the next, 2025. And I said, do you have a plan for that? They said, we have a definite plan for that. And I got to tell you, if you know what I know about the company, the things that are going to happen in April at the convention, you guys would be, you guys won't be able to sleep tonight.
Well, I think you pretty much answered my next question, and which was what attracted you here to Global Wealth Trade. And as you said, our CEO, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou, is such a visionary, and his vision of 1,000 millionaires. And I know he told me, and told many of us, this will become the final home for anyone in the industry who truly wants to make that residual income for life, and how this company would be able to create 1,000 millionaires. And so, what was it really? You answered a lot of the question, but what really was it that you saw, sitting down looking at Global Wealth Trade, that you said, yes, this is the final home, and I know you want to create 100 millionaires here. And so what really was it you saw that, you said, Global Wealth Trade is where I can really do what I want to do?
Oh, the key to the whole thing is like I say, and again, don't get me wrong, I don't say bad things about any company or any person or any product. I wanted a product that didn't have expiry dates. Everybody I talked to, they said, well, when I was doing the other business, I made a lot of money, by the way, but people said, oh, is it approved by the FDA? What does the doctor say about it? Oh, I got to check with my nutritionist. I got to check with my doctor. Is it safe for children? Is it this and this and this? It has expiry dates. It has this and that. I wanted to find something that basically I didn't have all those negative questions, right? I didn't want to become a doctor or have to explain to every single person about all kinds of different things. And so the rate of people that got into the company, I was recruiting because of the follow into the business, right? And then when I started looking at this company, and I started looking at all the numbers and statistics of the people that joined that are still in the company, and the people that are making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month that have no experience in this industry whatsoever, right? That was exciting for me. People that are just normal, average people making that kind of money with no experience in the business whatsoever, and like I say, in 150 countries. And to me, hopefully that you all feel the same way I do. Everything to me is about family, is about friendships, is about relationships, and I just feel so strong about this company as in the direction that they're going. But in the short period of time, I've met so many really, really, really nice people that basically a young lady that's hopefully is on the call tonight. She's not in my group, but it doesn't matter for me. Just so all of you know, I don't care whether you've signed up for 10 years in business since the day it started. I don't care whose group you're in. I'm here for all of you. There's no letter I in the word team, and I'm here for all of you. A young lady that's on the call tonight, I believe, she takes a bus here. She takes a bus all the way here from Mississauga area, and takes a bus home at night. And the whole thing is and that's commitment. And other people, they live 10 miles from here, and they said, well, I can't make it tonight. Oh, I didn't get a babysitter. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. But yet they go work at their job for $10 or $15 an hour, and they've been working there for years. They're not happy with their job, but yet they won't go and listen to somebody that's making $1 million a year to help them, guide them to change their life. So, I just think, like I say, it gets back to commitment to me. It gets back to the leadership of the company. It gets back to the product. When Rene was saying when he started, they had 20 products. Now they have 1,400. And the new products that they're coming out with, oh my God, I'm so excited about the new products and the direction the company's going into. Boy, oh boy, anybody that fails at this, Please don't get involved in another multi-level marketing company. Please don't do that, because if you fail at this, you're not going to succeed in any other company. I guarantee you that.
I agree with you completely, and you're so right. I'm so excited. I know when our fashion show happens April the 7th, and people see the new products and the new enhancements coming in our Comp Planet convention. I mean, wow. This is going to go to an even completely different level. Now, I know we're coming up almost to 10, and we do have a leadership call coming up with our CEO.
You know that they have a special guest speaker at the convention. Did you hear about that?
I did hear about that. I heard a gentleman who traveled the world with the likes of Jim Rohn and different people is going to be speaking. So I think everybody should be coming to convention. Among many reasons, that's certainly one of them, and I'm excited to see that gentleman speak for sure.
I'm so honored to be the guest speaker. I'm excited about it, and like I say, for me, what I want people to do is, like I say, it really, you know, to me, there's only 3 ships in the whole world. There's big ships, there's small ships, but my best ships are friendships. And, you know, I want to make sure that I don't want anybody in the business to be shy not to speak to me, or if they need my help, if they need my 3-way call, whatever you guys need from me, I'm here for you.
Thank you. We appreciate that so much. And it's interesting. That's really the last thing I want to touch on tonight, because I know our CEO, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou, from day one, he always talked about, you know, the culture of this company is going to be no member left behind, and he always said, build a company, not just your own team. And I know from the day you've joined us, how you've always, you know, greeted everyone, talked to everyone, and you've said that, you know, you want to help anyone in the company who wants to become a millionaire, that you'll be there to support them. Now, you know, where does such a mindset come from, and why do you think it's important to have that mindset? You know, to really work as one team, one family.
Like I say, when the team is together, the dream is together. Everything to me is about my legacy, and it's not the steps that I make today; it's the steps I leave behind that's really important. It's really incredible. If anybody here is on Facebook, they see Jim Rohn everywhere. Jim Rohn has been passed away for a number of years now. I was at 2 of his weddings, and I was also at his funeral. Mary Kay, I was at her funeral. I've been at all kinds of companies where you know the owners have passed away, but yet their names still come up in a very positive way on a daily basis. And so for me, what I do when I walk into a room, I want that room to be a better place to be because I'm in that room. So everything to me is about my legacy. And like I say, it's not all the things that I do today. It's all the things that I leave behind. A lot of people have read my book, my last book, you know, called Mercer, Millionaire Mentor. All that money, by the way, goes to charity. And so when people read my book, hopefully they get something from that book. But not only do they get something from the book, but it's also going to help people that are passing away with cancer. My brother died at 12 years old with cancer, and so I feel an obligation to go out there and share all the things that I do with as many people as I possibly can.
Well, you know, we're so fortunate to have you now as a part of our GWT family, and again, so many of your thoughts and philosophies just run right alongside our CEO, because I know he's always said GWT is ultimately to help people earn more, to eventually, ultimately, to be able to give more and, you know, leave the world as a better place. And so it's a privilege to have you.
If you're on an airplane and the captain says we have some turbulence, what we need to do is we need to put on their oxygen mask. But also, what they tell you is put it on yourself before you help the next person, okay? You can't help the homeless if you're homeless, okay? So what I'm saying to you is that what you need to do is to take the business serious, right? And like I say, be a leader. Be a leader. Make a difference, and people will follow you. Okay. If you're going out for a walk and you look behind you and there's no one behind you, you're not a leader. All you are is going for a walk. Okay. So if you want to be a leader, you need people following you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ed Mercer. It's been a great honor, privilege. I know how much I've gotten out of this, and I know, we had so many lines on here tonight. I've seen people from Africa, Europe, Caribbean, Canada, USA, all over have been on learning from you tonight. So, we appreciate your time. I don't know if there's any final words you want to leave the audience with.
Like I say, for me, the final words is that everybody on the call, we all have the same opportunity. We also have the same compensation plan. The key is that this is something that anyone can do. I have grade 8 education and no experience in the industry when I started. We also have the same opportunity. I think we owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our family, and residual income is something that it's not all the money that we make today. It's the money that we leave behind for our family. That's really important to me.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again so much, Mr. Mercer. Great honor and privilege, and I hope everyone who heard you tonight will be at the convention, to get to hear from you, meet you in person, and what a fantastic time that's going to be, April 7th to 9th, and I know our company is going to go to another level, and we appreciate you, appreciate your, your being here to help everyone achieve their dreams and change many lives. So thank you, and have a great evening.
God bless you all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Well, good night, Millionaires in Motion, GWT family. Thanks, everyone who joined us on this call, and it's recorded, so we'll be posting it. You can share it. Any team member you had who missed this, anyone you had who's looking at GWT that missed this, you'll be able to share it with them. And for all our CDSC members, of course, we're going straight from this call on to an amazing call with our CEO and visionary, Mr. Ramin Mesgarlou. So I'll see you all on that call. Regional Ambassador Sean Haynes saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Good night.